They are coming. Survivor Specialist Phil and Alexa are back, and Phil is back in America. Survivor Season 34 is over. Hopefully my mic sounds better. I saw some complaints in the finale recap. I don't know what was going on for the first half of that episode. I sounded like I was in like a dungeon, and everything was just like an echo chamber. It was creepy. I have no idea. Hopefully it's not coming across that way right now.
I just the bar has been set because it used to be me with my bad internet. And now we're having a decent microphone issue when you're all the way in France. I think overall we did a great job.
I think that was pretty good. I mean, it was early in the morning, all that fun stuff. But yeah, so pretty much this podcast, unfortunately, we don't have any interviews right now. Like I think last time our first podcast post-season was the Adam Klein interview. So we don't have any interviews set up right now. We are talking to some of the cast to see who we can get on and try to set up some dates and everything. So keep an eye out there on Twitter. But pretty much this entire thing is just going to be talking a bit about season 34, game changers, talking about some off-season topics, what we're planning to do, because it's going to be a long off-season, but we want to come to you at least once a week. And and that's pretty much all it's really going to be. We're going to make like another little announcement that I don't think anybody's going to see coming, but hey, it could be interesting. So we figured we'd give it a try. A friend of mine reached out and said he wanted to try something. So we'll see what goes on. He'll be here in a little, but whatever. Don't get hyped.
Everyone's going to think you like stuffed Will under your chair and you're just going to like throw him out for everyone to say.
I'm just going to say right now, don't get hyped. It's not Will. That's so, but
the bar has been set.
Yeah, I know. I was like, damn, don't bring up that it's going to be somebody coming on because everybody's going to expect it to be a Survivor or Will, but it's neither. It's actually just somebody who had an idea, and he's a friend of mine, and I decided, hey, let's see if he can explain it and make you guys excited about it, so we'll see. But first, I want to announce the winners of all of the fantasy games and all of you buff winners out there. So pretty much what ended up happening was we said we were going to give away 2 for Prop Bet, 1 for Boot List, and then due to terrible wording by Will and I in our Kickstarter campaign, whoever beat both of us in the Eliminator Challenge gets a buff, which really was like could have been terrible for us if everybody would have beaten us. But instead, it was just Vaughn and Maurice. Maurice ended up winning, but Vaughn beat me, so both of them are going to end up getting buffs. So I'll reach out to you guys, see what you want. I just want to throw out one thing. I did a bunch of tiebreakers that I reached out to Maurice and Vaughn about, just like at random, so that there wouldn't possibly be a tie. And the last tiebreaker didn't come down to a tiebreaker, but the last tiebreaker was who will have their votes for the winner shown and who will they be voting for? Vaughn got it exactly right. All 4 votes, spot on, which is pretty insane. That's really impressive. I don't know how he pulled that one off. He didn't end up winning. He didn't end up beating Maurice, but I thought that's just impressive that you get the 4 votes that are shown and you got the person right. I don't know. That's a lot of votes to be shown to. When he sent me 4, I thought he was crazy.
That's insane. Good for him.
Yeah, so that was wild. In terms of the Phil, Alexa, Will, who won all of those, Phil won Power Rankings, Phil won Boot List, Phil won Fantasy Game. Alexa, what did you win? You won something.
I won something. I don't know. You're the scorer.
I don't know. Will won the prop bet. Actually, Alexa, I don't think you won anything. Will won the prop bet. And then who was the winner? What was that winner game? Remember we did like that winner game? I don't know if I have that.
That winner game was.
It was exciting for.
It was very fun.
At least it was something. I don't even know where it is, but I'm sure you're all itching to know who won that. If I can find it one day, we will be sure to let you know.
Because we're all a little unsure as to what game it is.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, the winners for the prop bet were Jamie Sleeper and Cam Grievous. Both of you ended up having Sarah as your winner pick, and that's what ended up doing it for you. If you didn't have Sarah as your winner pick, you would have lost. It's 28 and 27, so pretty high this year. A lot of our bets hit, though, which was exciting because it doesn't always happen in these seasons.
We got the biggest one. We got Troy Zan hugging Jeff.
Yeah, and we got Aubrey hugging Jeff. We got 2 people doing it.
Yeah, we got 2. That's unprecedented.
I know. So pretty much we had every single thing happen. We had somebody mention Sierra's mom. We had everything. We had every one of our bets hit. I think that's the first time we've had that happen. Granted, we've only done it twice, but hey, let's pretend we've been here for longevity.
When was the blindfold?
The blindfold was like episode 4 because it was right after Caleb had been booted,
Yes,
and I did
you
not
wanted
have
Caleb.
because that's my life.
Right. Had to bring that up.
Yeah, and then the boot list winner was Julia Delbel. So those are our 5 buffs we have to give away. God, 5 buffs, break the bank. But yeah, so that was fun. That was exciting. Hopefully next season, I know there were some boot lists circling around this year for this season. So hopefully next season it's a little bit cleaner. I know the returning seasons are so hard, but if we do hear something about a boot list being out there, we probably won't do the boot list game again just because we don't really, I don't know, you just don't want that to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes the fun out of it.
And we were looking at some and they were like not even discreet, like they were word for word.
Yeah. So I'll reach out to all of you 5 buff winners, and I'll reach out to all of you to see what's up, see what you want, which buff you want. Hopefully CBS has the right ones up, or Planet Buff possibly. We'll see. But all right, Alexa, what else we got? What off-season topics? Right? You wanna?
Yeah, let's dive right into the off-season topics. We have a couple things we've planned for you guys. Should we first close the book with Game Changers and put it in our season rankings?
Yes, let's talk Game Changers. Let's do like a quick recap of what was Game Changers. And I guess the thing with Game Changers was it was exciting. The hype around it coming in was actually negative, which was weird. I don't really remember the last time there was a Survivor season where coming in people were kind of down on the idea of it, down on some of the casting choices. It was very strange that we didn't have a lot of hype coming into it. So Survivor Game Changers, even after thinking about it, I'm still not sure. I really do feel like the editors did as best they could with Sarah's story. I think they could have done a lot better with other stories. But reading the exit press, it seems like Sarah had them all fooled.
Well, that's the thing. I think they could have done way better with Sarah's story because there are so many secret scenes that have come out since the season ended. And you think, wow, like, where was that with Sarah? Like, because a lot of people had an issue because they didn't know her or they didn't connect with her. And she was so well liked and played an incredible game. Like, people are going to look back on her game and she swept the floor with everybody. She's going to be one of the better winners in recent memory. And no one's really talking about it because it's overshadowed by an iffy season and she wasn't really portrayed well. I think they could have done a lot better job with that other than just making her this villain.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Like, so, like the exit interviews with like Cirie, with Aubrey, they're all like, just like she was lying to all of us. Sierra, I mean, they couldn't believe how well she was lying, and then she still got the votes. I thought it was interesting. The Brad and Troyzan exit interview with Gordon Holmes, they both thought that the jury was going to be bitter towards Brad, and that Sarah was doing so little, nobody was going to reward her because they're going to be bitter towards her too. And like Brad said, he was scared to bring Troyzan to the end because he thought Troyzan was going to get the votes because everybody liked Troyzan. But I don't know if people started figuring it out at Ponderosa, what Sarah was doing, but it seems like they all had the wool pulled over their eyes, and she did a great job with that. I don't know. I really don't know. This season needs a rewatch desperately because when I announce where it is in my season rankings, I mean, I don't have a feel on it.
I don't have a good feel on it either. And I was saying this to you right before we went live, Phil. There's so many moments that I loved in this season. Each episode had like a really cool moment. There were a lot of things that I loved about this season, but wrapped together, I really don't like it. And I can't think of many other seasons like that because usually when I don't like a season, or if I do like a season, I like the characters, I like the storylines, I like everything that's going on. But in this one, I kind of liked the people. I was iffy on the cast going in, as I'm sure a lot of people were. But a lot of people played really, really well. I was happy with the cast. And I'm kind of happy with what they did, but I'm just unhappy with how it was presented to me. And that's never happened before. So I'm kind of weird on it.
Yeah, this is a very unique season, and there were some really good moments in here, but then there were some moments where I'm just shaking my head, and I couldn't stop shaking my head. The Malcolm thing, it's an idea that I'm not so mad that they tried, but after it happened, I think it really puts a damper on this season. You had the whole Zeke Varner thing. I don't know if you want to call it good or bad. it's just a moment that, Survivor, that's not really what Survivor's known for, and it's not necessarily fun TV, that's for sure. And then you had this really weird post-merge. The pre-merge had all the big characters, like a lot of big characters go out, and we had so much screen time for those big characters who went out pre-merge. And then we kind of had to get used to knowing everybody again once the post-merge hit. Because that Tavua tribe, we really didn't get to know pre-merge at all. That 6-person, Troyzan, Andrea, Cirie, Zeke, whoever else was on there, we didn't get to know them that well. And then the merge hits, and it's like, by the way, here they all are. They're going to be your deep players, so you better know everything about them.
Yeah, and we complained endlessly about that during the season, and I'm the thing is, like, I'm always one to complain, but it's a bit of you can't really get the best of both worlds, because yeah, we want to hear from Cirie. That's what everyone wants. But her tribe literally can't lose. So are we going to talk? Like, are we going to talk to her, or do we talk to the person who ends up being the winner, Sarah, or the person who ends up finding an idol, Troyzan? So I want to hear from her, but I don't know how I can without her tribe losing, because if we don't get enough Sandra, I'm gonna be mad. If we don't get enough Tony, I'm gonna be mad. Like, we can't hear from everyone all the time. But that being said, I just at the ending. I think because Sarah's entrance was so abrupt, like at the merge, I was like, oh, Sarah's going to win, because I know Cirie's not going to win, and no one else really can.
Well, and like my whole thing with Brad and Ty, like that whole thing at the end, where did that come from? I don't really understand why Brad disliked Ty so much. We didn't really get a good reason. It was like, he's screwing me all the time. And it was like, when did Ty ever screw you? What am I watching? And then we didn't really hear anything from Troyzan, and he might not have been playing the most flashy game, but I want everybody in my final 3 to have an equal amount of screen time so that I can think anybody can win. It's the same thing that kind of happened with Adam. Once he sat down next to Ken and Hannah, you knew it was over. You knew Adam won. There was no way Hannah and Ken were pulling it off. The Michelle Aubrey final 3, and even Ty, all of them had a fair amount of screen time. That makes for a more exciting final 3. You really sit there and you believe, wow. So Ty, you knew wasn't going to win, but you sit there and say, at least I got to see his storyline to get to the end. Whereas with Troyzan, we saw a bunch of him at the beginning, and then we saw nothing once the merge hit, and it was kind of weird.
You make a good point with that, because especially with the Aubrey and Michelle thing, I remember watching that and thinking, I have no idea who's going to win, and I love that. And maybe they're trying to avoid that because of how angry some people got, which is beyond unnecessary. But yeah, and even Brad, I figured Brad wasn't going to win, because going back to something we talked about a few weeks ago, there were jurors saying they wanted Sarah to win. Like, and we were like, why are they showing this? Like, why do I know that, like, Zeke's definitely going to vote for Sarah? Like, all these people are going to vote for Sarah. We thought that was like a weird red herring thing, but that was even weirder. And then you said you saw a scene where people were discussing, like, how Brad already has money. I feel like that's just stuff that really shouldn't be shown in advance.
Yeah, it's really strange, and I'm curious to see if they keep doing this jury thing moving forward in terms of the jury, how they react to the tribal councils. Because I was saying, you have these people sitting here saying they're going to vote for Sarah, and then Sarah wins, and it's like, why are you telling me that they're going to vote for Sarah? Show that to me in the show. Let me see why they're going to vote for Sarah there. Don't tell me in some. I'm one of those. I'm still. I'm 25 years old, but I feel old school in terms of when I watch a show, I want to watch that show. It's like the whole thing with, like, the Marvel universe. It's like, well, the comic goes into this, which then goes into this. And it's like, but I didn't read the comic, so I don't know what that means. I just watched the movies. And, like, I want the movie to make sense for the next movie. I don't want to have to read supplemental material. And I feel like that's what this season was. It was a lot of supplemental material that wasn't explained in your main programming, which is what we really all are there to watch.
And I watched with a couple of my roommates a few episodes in and out, and they've barely watched Survivor, like maybe watched an episode of, like, Australia once. But and they were just like, why is she voting for this person? Why is this happening? And I get that, like, it's a fast-paced game now, and, like, you can't just, like, catch on to that. But half the time I was like, I don't know why they're voting for them. I just know that I'm upset that this person is going home. And that's not you don't want that.
Yeah, and I don't want this to turn. I know we're very, very negative on this right now. I don't want this to turn into like a event fest on Game Changers. It's just this is a season that could have been much better. I feel like there's a lot of moments in here that could have been much better. You look at something like Redemption Island. There's not many ways to make that season better. One World. There's not many ways to make that season better because you have to show Jay blowing up Troyzan's game. You have to show Tarzan being the last standing male. You have to show Christina Cha getting all the way down to what, 4th place or 5th place, whatever it was. You have to show these things. And there's not much room to make that more exciting. This season, you could have made so much more exciting towards the end with the Sierra blindside, the Zeke blindside, the Haley blindside. These were moves that were like exciting, but ultimately just felt flat in the moment. Like for some reason, there was something that felt flat about all of them. And then you have what's an interesting moment, but probably one of the biggest duds ever of Cirie going out in 6th place without receiving a vote just because of all of the idols in play. And it's not unfair. It's just like, God, that's what we were building to with Cirie for her entire Survivor career. That's what the build was. And it explains kind of her weird edit the entire time. But like, I don't know, like that, is that a good moment? Is the Malcolm boot a good moment? Like I said earlier in the season, they're good short term. It's good for that instant, but then the hangover from it is just going to be so apparent.
The Malcolm thing, I'm really curious to see how that marinates over the next few seasons, because I remember I was talking to some friends at work and they're like, that was so cool. Like, how crazy is it that happened? And then I'm like, yeah, well, we lost Malcolm and his tribe didn't vote him out. And Cirie went home, but she didn't get voted out. We lost 2 people who didn't get voted out by their own tribe. And that's like, yeah, that's a historic moment. And yeah, it happened to Cirie, one of the most historic players ever. But I wish that didn't happen. And I wish that wouldn't have happened if it was Aubrey or Troyzan or Andrea or freaking anyone.
Yeah,
I just
if
think
it was Brad, I would have been mad. Like, I don't care who it is. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's just the fact that people are going home for reasons that, like you said, the programming doesn't say why they're going to go home. Like, this is a game where you vote out people who should go home or people who you want to go home for whatever reason you want. And we had 2 people go home not because their tribes did not vote them out.
Yeah, it's kind of like it was out of their hands. And you know, the guy who's about to appear here in about 10 minutes, I'm trying to, figure out where he's at. But I was talking to him about this. And like he said, that Cirie boot, her going out like that, that's pretty much turning this game from being like a social strategic game to you better be in the bushes looking for an idol. Otherwise, you could possibly go home that way, which is crazy because like to go home literally because you're the only person without an idol, that takes like strategy out of the game. Like now you have to find an idol. Otherwise, you can't win. And it's like, why are we pushing it so hard towards that? What happened to the days of being able to win the game just because you were good at the game? Why do you have to push it?
That's the thing. Like, being a social player doesn't mean nearly as much as it used to. And I certainly don't like that because there are so many players, so many winners. People are like, oh, they didn't play the most strategic game. I'm like, yeah, well, the jury liked them and the jury thinks that they deserved it and that's why they won. And it's shifting into who did the most stuff. And I don't love that.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And, it's okay. I get like they want, Jeff's at the point now where he wants memorable winners. He wants the Tonys. He wants the Russells. Like those are the types of people he wants winning the game. He wants the Sandra from this season. He doesn't want the Sandra from Heroes versus Villains. He wants the Sandra from this season. Right. And that's the type of player that this game is starting to shift towards. He doesn't want a Michelle to ever win again. That's just not his thing. But too bad, Michelle's going to win every time she goes out there. Yeah.
I think the way that I close this is clearly the fact that we just ranted says that says enough about how we feel about this season. But I'll say this again: Sarah's win is going to just get better over time. People can feel however they want about it now. She wipes the floor with these all-stars. Like, I'm going to call them all-stars. She wipes the floor with these returning players and absolutely kicked butt. And she deserves that win. No questions asked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So should we put it in?
Let's put it in. And this is curious because I don't actually know where you put it in. So in my rankings, I put it all the way down at 28. Now, this is initial reaction, knee jerk. I'm going to end up rewatching it. It might move up. It might even move down. I don't know. But my initial knee jerk is to put it at 28. I got it behind Worlds Apart in Fiji. I got it ahead of Nicaragua, Thailand, Caramel, and South Pacific One World Redemption Island. Really, those are my 6 least favorite seasons. Game Changers, I wouldn't put quite in that caliber of bad. Not that even those seasons, I mean, they're not good, but like it's still Survivor. This is just a notch above those, but I still put it at the bottom of that next tier.
Wow, and you've been threatening to put it pretty low, and you held true on your promise there.
Yeah, I did. I'm not messing around.
So I stuck mine at 22, still definitely lower half, a little higher up than you. So I have 20 and 21 are Pearl Islands and Cook Islands. Game Changes at 22, 23 and 24 I have Samoa, South Pacific, then All Stars, Fiji, and that's where it starts to go downhill. So I think I have it higher probably just because I like I was saying, there were moments that I liked. A lot of the characters who I was really, really down on coming into this, I ended up really enjoying, did a complete 180 on a lot of players. That's why I can put it a little higher, but the fact that I just ranted about it for 15 minutes when I wasn't intending to definitely says that it shouldn't be higher than 20.
I just think it's so funny. People are definitely going to have like a breakdown when they remember that you put Pearl Islands all the way down at 20. Just saying.
Know. I actually purposely said Pearl Islands because I'm going to say it. I don't love it.
All right. Well, I've sent the link. I've sent the link over here. So we'll see when Blake's head's just going to appear very shortly. And when it does, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
But that's really it. So I want to talk about this because this is going to be a bigger thing for the off season at least.
Yes. Good segue.
Yeah. So pretty much it's well because Blake's could be coming in at any moment. I'm kind of giving him his intro and hoping that he comes in at the right time. But so pretty much this guy he runs like online reality games. Here he is. There he is. I love the picture. There's Blake. Blake.
Hey.
How's it going, everybody?
What's up, Blake?
You're live.
Perfect.
So
nice
now
to
I
meet
want to.
you.
Oh yeah. By the way, Blake, Alexa, Blake.
Hi, Blake. Nice to meet you.
Definitely. How's it going, Alexa?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Perfect Sunday here.
Perfect Sunday in LA. I want to see our diehard fans if they can recognize where your voice is from, because everybody who watches our channel has heard your voice before, and I wonder who will actually know who you are.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
I was doing the videotaping of the Jeff Probst thing. So you can hear me screaming at Natalie Tinarelli to just go as fast as possible because I wanted Jeff Probst and Will to lose.
There you go.
I was going for Phil the whole time.
Yeah, as was the rest of the internet.
Yeah. That's why I brought Blake in here, because he's a Phil fan instead of a Will fan. So that's why we bring him aboard.
We're creating a consortium.
I hope there's not any Will fans at all.
No, there's not. We got rid of them all.
Oh man. So pretty much, Blake, I still haven't even dropped like the words yet. But okay. Blake, you've hosted or you've done, and you know people who host, and we're just kind of using you for this. We're gonna do an online reality game through the Phil and Will whole special Survivor specialist. I like how I didn't even name Alexa in there.
Yeah, what the heck?
Phil and Alexa.
It's Phil and Alexa. We need to rebrand.
We need to rebrand. So we're gonna do an online reality game, and Blake's gonna kind of talk about what's gonna happen because I've never done one. And so I just think this is going to be a cool thing. Blake seems to really know what he's doing. I trust him. I don't know why, but let's hear it, Blake.
So basically, online reality games, or ORGs for short. You can even throw like an orgy, but don't do
don't say that.
It's a little weird when you're talking about it with your friends.
This is a family-friendly channel, Blake.
An org. So basically, what we're gonna do is have a season where it's like 18 of you guys. So we'll do a 3-tribe season. I think it's either going to be Ko-Rong or maybe Worlds Apart. And so what happens is it's something where you're logging on every day, and you are able to send messages to people, build alliances with people in your tribes. And what happens is it's not something where it's like, oh, let me check my thing for 10 minutes and I'm ready to play and I'm going to be successful. It's something where when you apply for it, it's like, do you have a couple hours a day to? It's like an immersive thing. It's not, oh, okay, this is fun. Because you're going to be playing challenges, building alliances, looking for idols, all that kind of stuff where it's like, oh, I'm going to play Survivor as best as I can on my computer. And then when you set up a blind side and everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's a moment that you can think about. Because like, oh, this season there was a doubler and a vote stealer and 6 different legacy advantages. And like, we have been doing that for 5 years in our online reality game community. So we knew like, oh, when you put so many advantages, they just stack upon each other and ruin somebody's life at the end. So what we're going for is a 3-tribe season. We want about 18 people that are fans of the show. This is something where it's completely anonymous. So don't talk to, oh, your other favorite survival specialist friend that you guys always like, oh, did you check out the podcast with Alexa? She was talking. No, don't talk to them. Send your email into us or whatever, and we're going to pick 18 people that can be dedicated. We're going to have it in July, so it's during the summer where I get that people are on vacation, but maybe some of you guys want to stay at home and play Survivor. This is for you guys. And then that way, I'll do like a little bit of a boot camp like they do on the actual show of like, I'm not going to help you start fire on the internet, but it's like, here's what you need to do to be successful in challenges. When you talk to people, it's not, oh, I feel really good about you after one message. It's like a process of, oh, wow, we're getting to know each other because we both really love the Pussycat Dolls, and that's what we build our alliance on. And then we're gonna come up with a Pussycat Dolls alliance name, and nobody's gonna know about it until we get to the final 5 and we announce our alliance and how we controlled all of y'all the whole summer. So those are moments that will happen for a couple of y'all if you guys put in a lot of effort and just really embrace it instead of like, oh, I have to be on the computer for 2 hours. Like, we want the people that are like, this sounds fun, instead of, oh, I don't know if I have time. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know. Just skip this, play in the second season. If this is successful and people like it, whatever. So that's the spiel.
That was a good spiel.
That was a great spiel.
That was the first Pussycat Dolls reference ever on the Survivor Special.
Oh, wow. I thought
such
it would
a
be
loud word. Ooh, I'm getting a lot of reverb off of someone.
Blake, do you have headphones?
Oh, God.
Yeah, Blake, come on.
Oh, God.
Can't bring him anywhere.
While Blake looks for headphones.
I'm going downstairs.
Oh, bye.
He'll be right back.
That's
All right,
Blake,
so
everyone.
That's Blake. He's coming back. Probably to explain more. So we're gonna have to set up a like an email address. I think, Alexa, we have the Survivor Specialist email address, right? So
yes, I created an email address. SurvivorSpecialist@gmail.com.
Yeah, so we'll probably. I think Blake has an application, which we'd be asking him right now, but he is long gone. And yeah, I mean, I think this is something fun. I know the off seasons are so long, and everybody. This is like the time when like the online reality games can be really fun because like. This is when you have the free time. I mean, I know a lot of our followers are younger. Some of you might be on summer break. Even some of you just might be slow in the summer because a lot of work is slow. So I think this is something that could be really fun and really interesting. And it could be just something to broaden the community a bit here. Blake, we're asking about applications.
Okay, so everything that we do is through Envision Free is what it used to be, but now it's like Z-Link Pro boards or something. So basically, you don't have to have anything besides the website to do this program, except maybe a paint program, like Paint Bucket for. I need to breathe.
You're exhausted.
I was looking all around downstairs.
Yeah, you have to go run 5 miles for this.
This is why I play online Survivor, not real Survivor, because I would be up first. So basically what you need to do is like, okay, when we do like a challenge where it's paint, there's paint challenges, like this isn't making sense. That's the only thing you would ever need is a paint bucket thing. And what you need to do is like learn how to upload images, learn how to make a puzzle. The way we do puzzles is a very specific thing, but that's part of the boot camp of like, oh, here's how you're gonna use image tags to do stuff. there'll be stuff where, oh, here's a challenge that involves a YouTube video that you got to watch, and there's going to be trivia from it. That kind of stuff is what we're trying to do, is mirror the challenges as much as possible, but still have something that can be done within like an hour. Because the challenges are not the thing that you want to spend all your time on at night. It's more, but there's still those moments of like, oh, wow, this person that never won a challenge came out and pulled it out of the bag, or, oh, the people that really know how to do challenges have been waiting behind. Like, there's all those different kinds of strategies that you can see in the show that can also be mirrored in the game. Of you can tell people like, oh man, I'm so bad at puzzles, don't put me there. And then five rounds later, you're like, oh, I'm actually a puzzle master. You guys got duped.
There you go. There you go. So pretty much, what do you think? We're thinking the week after 4th of July is when we would start, because, you know, the 4th of July holiday, there's no reason to start it before then, because that's just going to be, everybody's going to be doing something, at least most people. So there's no reason to do it then. So me and Alexa were talking while you were gone. We have like an email address that we can like do it with, but application, like an actual application, like for people. Like,
oh, that's what you're talking about. Not like,
yeah, you went on a rant. I was just gonna let you
We didn't
know.
want to stop you.
Oh my god.
You were in a roll.
So I think for like an application, what you were gonna want to do, like, do you guys think that we should do like a vote between Kaorong, or however you pronounce that, in Worlds Apart, or because that's what we've got to, like, either two of those seasons we have like a whole bunch of assets ready to go for those.
Well, I would say do Kaorong.
I would say Kaorong, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kaorong's a more loved season, at least on our podcast.
Okay, so you guys voted already 2-0, and that's the vote we'll go with.
And we're
That's
the
all we
only
get.
votes that matter, so.
Okay, so I think what you would want to do for your application is just basically be like, hi, I'm this person, and then like, I don't even know if we need to really know your age, because a lot of people are like, I just want to be on the internet. So like, just tell us how much you've played in the past, if you've been on a Reddit or online reality game, or if you've been on a different one, or if you played one in person with all your friends and you were drinking. Do all that kind of stuff of like, oh, I have won 15 of them and I am going to win this one. Perfect. And then put your favorite Kaorong reps. Go ahead and give us like 5 in a row of like, I want to play Ty the most, to, if I have to, I guess I'll be Julia, but I want to be on the beauty tribe for sure, because I have inner beauty and you're going to see it come through this game. Just a little spiel like that. Go ahead and give us like a couple of paragraphs to let us know what kind of player you're going to be and all that good stuff. And then somebody will sift through it and we'll figure out a good 18 mix, because you can't have 18 Sandras and you can't have 18 somebody worse. Like, somebody's got to get last place. So
somebody's got to be Darnell, right?
Yeah. Poor Darnell. Poor
Darnell.
Poor
And in
Darnell.
case you guys, Blake, I like how your like casting side is coming out here. Blake works in casting, not for Survivor, but
Not
you can
for
tell
Survivor.
that you can tell that he does stuff though, as he sits here and tells you all of his little tips. He's giving you pointers right now. You don't even realize it.
Yeah, take notes.
So where is this located? I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't know if I missed it in your speech.
You're talking about like a board link or something?
Yeah.
Let me click some buttons real quick. I haven't played one because I've been so busy this year, you know, just
so busy.
It's there's not like one that anyone can really look at, but it's boards on JCink. It's JCINK, but it's just like a board, online message board forum thing. Like, it used to be Z boards and pro boards. It's all in that same vein. And JSync is just the newest one that allows people to do the most customization.
Oh, good. Blake had the bad internet. Good. It's not us, Alexa. Is it?
No. I'm good.
Oh, okay, cool. I think Blake, we lost Blake for a second.
Yeah, Blake, you're going in and out.
Oh my gosh, when I do this.
That's what happens when you try to like load stuff on your computer.
Yeah, don't ever do that.
Okay. I won't even look at Facebook anymore to get Phil's messages saying,
That's
good
okay.
job, quit moving your hands.
Why are you
micromanage right now?
Yeah, you're telling me.
I know.
I can only imagine your Facebook chats. Jeez.
Oh, I love it.
Exposing our secrets.
All right. So here's the deal. So pretty much what we're going to do is Alexa and I guess we'll tweet out the email address that you can all apply to. It'll be, I think we have, what is it? survivorspecialist@gmail.com?
Yes.
I like how I'm asking Alexa, but I still called it Phil and Will before. So
Yeah, I need a name. I need a Bitmoji on this thing.
Yeah. So is there anything else that needs to be known, Blake? Is there anything else, or I know you want to go play golf. I know.
I think he's trying to shoo you out of here, Blake.
Oh wow! Well, I'll get shooed. You guys have fun. I'm gonna get a margarita and then go play some golf. So,
Heck yeah!
There you go.
it's been real.
Thanks, Blake.
Bye.
Adios. I don't know where to push. Oh, this red phone probably.
He's gone.
He's gone. We did it.
I don't know how you guys feel about Blake, but
Oh
Blake-
my gosh, he's so freaking funny.
Blake is an amazing little character there. Love Blake. So there you go. So that's what we were talking about. We're gonna try to do like an online reality game. It's not really gonna be a podcast. We're not gonna be podcasting really so much about it. Just something that we think would be fun. You know, our viewership has gone up so much recently that it's just something like, you know, to kind of give back without having to make you guys pay like you did with the Kickstarter, which was great. So this one's just kind of more of a fun thing. We'll tweet out the email address. And, you know, like what Blake said, just kind of give your 5 people that you want to be, you know, who you would play like, and then talk about, like, you know, if you've ever played before, all that fun stuff. I mean, Blake gave you everything you need to know in there. Like I said, he works in reality TV casting. So, yeah, I don't want to put any pressure on you guys, but you're going to be looked at with hard eyes here.
And it'll be pretty cool because you always hear people saying, man, I'd like to play like this. I want to do this. And how many people apply and can't actually get on the show? So this is our stepping stone. Like, show us that you're going to play like Ty, or show us that you're going to play like Julia, even though he totally like threw Julia under the bus with that. But
Yeah, what
yeah,
was
show
that?
what you want to play like.
I'm about to have to yell at him. I
I
can't
know.
believe
I was like, Julia was a guest.
Julia was a guest, Blake. No. Yell
Not
at somebody
her.
else. Scott and Kyle are the easy
They're
targets.
yeah,
Yeah.
get that. But
Yeah.
that's super cool.
Yeah, so that's Blake. I'm sure we'll hear from him, I guess, regarding this more as we move forward in our off-season podcast. I mean, Blake, he's a diehard Survivor fan, so you know you're gonna get plenty with him. So let's see here. He said he almost made a fill-in joke. Sorry, he's commenting over
Oh,
here.
come on.
Wow, he could have.
What does someone have to do to get a Bitmoji around here?
Make it yourself. I don't know how to do it.
I know how to do that.
Well, do it. I mean, if we can make a new banner and you can you could just like put your face over Will's face, that'd be sick.
Oh my god, Photoshop my Bitmoji over his. I'll be back in an hour.
There you go. Sounds amazing. All right. Other bit of news. What we're actually going to podcast about this off season, huh? Let's do that. I mean, now that we got our fix of Blake, I'm ready. I don't know if we can make Pussycat Dolls references.
Oh my god, did you see my face when he said that word?
Yeah, I couldn't
I was
even
like,
look at the
oh my
screen.
god.
Yeah, so without Pussy, we're gonna actually do an entire rewatch of the Pussycat Dolls, and we're going to never mind, wrong
Every
thing.
single music video.
Every single thing,
Like lyrical analysis, like outfit analysis, the whole shebang.
Yes, and I'm looking over here in the live chat. Konstantinos, Greece was amazing. I am sunburnt. There's something about that Mediterranean sun that does not bode well for us redheads. So yes, I am quite burnt. But Greece was incredible. What is going on? Sorry, just lost my mind there. So here we go. Rewatches. We're doing rewatches. So pretty much Alexa and I were figuring it's a long off season. We just coming off of Game Changers. It's not exactly the most excited we've all been going into the summer. Rewatches. We're going to do probably 2 season rewatches, and we'll let you guys pick. We kind of narrowed it down to 5 that we think would be good rewatches. This is kind of based on our season rankings or just like unpopular opinion amongst all of us. So the 5 that we kind of narrowed it down to were Vanuatu, because Alexa and I both have it so high up. And I know a lot of people are like, how the hell do you guys have it there? So often we hear that. And then there's Guatemala, because it's like the forgotten season. I remember Will screamed at us during the season rankings that we were wrong. Exile Island. We're hot from Surrey, right? And that's Alexa's, like, was that your number 1?
That was my number 10.
Oh, well, you
My number 1 was Vanuatu.
Number 1 was Vanuatu. That's right.
Like,
That's
I
right.
remember you were like, you were introducing Exile Island, and you were like, this is in someone's top 10. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, it's me.
Yeah. So, so we're gonna do, and then we have Marquesas because that's another one. Like, by the way, and I probably should have asked Blake this while he was here, but I couldn't wait to get him out of here. He said Marquesas is his favorite season. When I told him where we had Marquesas in our season rankings, he almost like hit me. He was like, "There's no way."
People love Marquesas.
I know. Will loves it. We have it very low, you and I. So that could be another one that we could definitely do a rewatch of. And then the one and the only, the one Will and I promised you all for so long that we never actually did a rewatch of, San Juan del Sur. So those were kind of the 5 we narrowed it down to. If you want to like maybe like throw at us like what 2 you think are like the best 2 options here, either comment on this video or tweet at us. The live chat goes away, so we're not going to be able to keep up. I see like it's rolling in kind of already.
Also, I'm looking at you guys in the live chat. If you vote in Thailand, we're not going to watch it.
Yeah, we're not doing Thailand. We're not doing Redemption Island. We're not doing One World. We're not doing South Pacific. I'm not doing Nicaragua. I've tried so many times with Nicaragua. I can't do it.
I've done these all once, and I don't know if I can do them again.
Yeah, so like that's why we kind of narrowed it down to this because we know these are kind of like not controversial, but there's like a debate on where it actually falls, and I think it could be fun to do a rewatch of them. Probably do like 2 episodes a week. This way we can get both seasons in before we start doing the preseason. But you know, if you have other ones that are in there, maybe Gabon, something like that, maybe something like a Fiji. Even I would rewatch Fiji. Would you rewatch Fiji?
I have rewatched Fiji, and it actually gets better on a rewatch, I think.
There you go. Yeah. So there you go. So I think like those are some of the ones that if you guys want to do, we're more than happy to, you know, really do any of them. We just thought these 5, it's more interesting, you know. We're coming off of I don't know. They're interesting seasons. And
we're coming off a season where I'd say we both kind of agree on how we feel about it, and these 2 are all of these 5 that we picked, Phil and I see them very differently. So I think it'd be great for us
Except Vanuatu.
Except Vanuatu. But we need to justify to the world why Vanuatu is so good. So that's why that one's up there. Yeah. But yeah, that's why we picked these, because Phil and I see them very differently. And I haven't rewatched any of them, so except for Vanuatu. So yeah, make sure you comment and tweet. Do not comment in the live chat because we won't remember.
Although right now, looking at the live chat, it looks like Vanuatu, Guatemala, and Gabon is getting a lot of love.
I know.
Here.
I wish you didn't mention Gabon.
I know. Well, you don't like Gabon?
I've already rewatched it, and I'm fine about it.
You know what though? When you rewatch something and you podcast about it, it's so different because you actually have to like nitpick what's going on. So I'm kind of interested to actually do a podcast on some of these older seasons. We talked about them in our season rankings, but this could be really fun to just like actually discuss them. You know, either 2 episode by 2 episode, knowing where it's going. You know, spoilers. If you haven't watched the seasons, I don't know if you should tune in because we're going to be discussing how it set up the ending the entire time. So spoilers. But that's fun. There was another one. Somebody had tweeted at us. Who was it, Alexa? Who was it?
What is this in reference to?
Who was it?
I don't. Oh, let me look at who did it because it was a good idea. I'm going to pull it up and you keep
Captain
talking.
Quint. Got it. Sorry. Captain Quint. Ranked the day 38 players. I think that's one we're going to do. I think that's a really fun. I think that could be a really fun podcast. Those are the people. Just missed it. The Christina Chas of the world. Who are the best ones? Is it Butch? It could be Butch. Is it Christina? It could be Christina. I mean,
it could be.
It could be. I mean, so I think that's a really fun. I think that's a fun idea. The people who pretty much, if they would have made it to the end, I'm looking at you, Sari, would have probably won.
Wentworth.
You know, and all the way down to the end. I think that would be really, really fun. A really, really fun podcast. So I would say probably, depending on how these interview things go, that could be very soon.
Yeah. Well, so we have a bunch of cool stuff planned. So, it's just a matter of what we do and when.
Yeah, there's another one. Do we bring up the Thanksgiving Day? Do you want to bring that up and just see what the reaction is? This was so funny to talk about. Okay,
yes. So Phil and I, if you've listened to our podcast ever, you would know that we think that Troyzan is the human embodiment of the fun uncle at Thanksgiving. And so Phil and I were texting and we were like, who else would be on Troyzan's tribe? Let's do like a Thanksgiving aunts versus Thanksgiving uncles tribe. And we actually we came up, like we were going to put Twyla Thanksgiving.
Well, you don't want to give anything away in case we actually do this podcast, Alexa.
Well, I put one. You gotta give a teaser.
You got to give a
Because
teaser.
Troyzan's on a teaser. We've been talking about Troyzan the whole freaking time.
It was Troyzan. It was Twyla. Terry was in there. I mean,
Terry.
this is kind of like what you're looking at, and you pretty much just call it like Survivor Thanksgiving Feast. Because I mean, at this point, what we have heroes, healers, hustlers, whatever the hell it is, they're going to start calling. I mean, eventually we're going to get Thanksgiving Feast. It's going to happen. I just think it's super funny.
Yeah, no, it's wicked funny. And also, now that we're talking out loud, why don't we have our viewers throw a theme at us and we have to cast it?
I think that's fun. I think that'd be fun.
We should do that. Throw us some stupid, ridiculous, crazy themes, and we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, we'll do at least like one or two of those. Like I said, I just thought the Thanksgiving thing was so dumb because we'd always talk about it, and then when you started like. Think about this. This is something that like I had pitched to Alexa here. Imagine putting Jamie from Guatemala on one of those tribes. And you just think about it as like you're playing the pickup football game and he's the one who's beating the crap out of people. He's the Bradley Cooper from Wedding Crashers because he just can't understand that this is like a fun family event. I don't know. It's a dumb idea that we had that we thought was just super funny. So
I think it'd be fun. And even if we don't make a full podcast out of it, like we'll do our rewatch. And then at the end of the rewatch, be like, by the way, like our featured fake season is Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers.
Yeah.
Because who ever would have thought of that name otherwise? And we cast it like super quick and just like make it kind of last half an hour of each podcast.
Yeah. And I will say, I don't think we're going to do anything politics related. We don't really talk about politics on this show.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. So like the conservatives versus liberals thing, that probably is not going to happen on this podcast.
We don't want this podcast to get canceled.
Exactly. So we probably won't do that one, but there's, just throw some ideas at us, put them in the comments, tweet at us. Like we keep saying, the live chat goes away. So put them somewhere else, make it permanent so that we can look at it. Just something fun in the off season. Who knows? We'll be coming in and out. Who knows how long we'll be here? I think it could be really fun. And then I know a lot of people had said, are you going to do Lost? And Alexa and I started talking about Lost. The problem with Lost is there's like 120 episodes on Netflix. So even if we did like 3 episodes a week, you're looking at 40 weeks, which puts us like through the next season, the next off season, the next preseason, and like into the next season. So I don't know. That one could be a bit ambitious.
I think we have a lot of cool stuff planned right now. I like, especially after talking all of it through, I think we have some really, really cool ideas and a lot of fun stuff for this off season. The thing with Lost is it's like we don't want to rewatch one season and then go back to Survivor because then it's kind of it's left hanging there. So there's some stuff we could do, but I don't know. I want to do Lost. I know a lot of people want us to do Lost, but it's just the logistics that we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out because it's like one of those things where once Survivor season starts up again, we're going to be doing 2 podcasts a week on Survivor, and then we'd be doing one on Lost, and then that really comes down to how much time does Phil and Alexa have, which I love doing it, and I know Alexa loves doing it as well, but it's kind of like it could become a lot, especially with the time difference. So I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm thinking right now we should put Lost on hold. I think our season rewatches will be a lot of fun, especially because you guys will be able to pick what season we're going to watch. You guys can help us choose which random seasons we want to make up with this Thanksgiving feast. Thanksgiving feast. I'm
changing the name of this podcast to Thanksgiving.
I'm going to make like a logo. I'm going to see if I can do that. See if my Photoshop skills are good. But anyways, I think we have some good stuff planned. So that's where I'm at with this. What do you think, Phil?
I don't know. I think we could do it, maybe like revisit it sometime in maybe like July or something. I just know through June we're going to be doing the rewatches, and I know like we've been in contact with Troyzan. I mean, it's no shock that we've been in contact with him. So we're looking to get him on soon. We've been in contact with a couple of others. So if we're going to be doing interviews and we're going to be doing Lost and we're going to be doing a season rewatch, it could become a bit cluttered. But I don't know. We'll see. I think Lost is going to happen someday.
It will happen.
I think it's going to happen someday. I mean, I love Lost and I want to rewatch it again. So, and Gamer Girl, I keep seeing you keep saying do Fringe, not Lost. I got to be completely honest. I watched like the first 5 episodes of Fringe. It's good. I liked it. I just it was right after I watched Lost. There was no way I could sit through like another 100 episodes of something. It's just a lot. All right. So what else do we have? What else is there, Alexa?
I think we've covered everything. So this was a different kind of podcast, but I think we got a lot of cool stuff planned for you guys.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really fun. Let's do a few comments because we haven't done them in a while, just to see like what people are thinking so far. We have Ryan Jakes Taylor. You should rank the 20 castaways 1 to 20 on how they played this season. Problem with that is they kind of were already ranked 1 to 20.
Yeah, good point. And that's just so subjective.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard. That would be very, very hard. God, dude, the Lost stuff going on in here is wild.
I know they are not. Yeah.
Hey, Konstantinos with the leftover shout out. Anybody who's not planted on their couch at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, watching the series finale of The Leftovers, you got to reevaluate because that's where everyone should be. Like Blake, I'm pretty sure is going to get his margarita, play golf, and come back and sit down to watch the finale of The Leftovers. So I'm just saying. It should be where
also make sure to always tune into our podcast.
Which podcast?
Our podcast.
Oh, our podcast.
No, the other one.
The other one. Giovanni Ariano, what was the funniest moment of Game Changers?
I was actually thinking about this the other day. I forget. I think it was when they were in 3 tribes. Malcolm is booking it to the end of a challenge, and he just flips over that piece of whatever. That was super quick. That was like half a second, but that was super funny.
I still think it was Tony doing the army crawl and then getting caught anyway. I just think that's hilarious. Like the image of that is just, he's crawling and then they're just like, Tony, what are you doing?
And as like a sidebar to that, when he comes up to Sandra Troy's and he's like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, yes, watching the waves.
Yeah, watching the waves. Let's see. We have Gamer Girl. Was this season over market, or you think they did another All Returnee season too soon after the previous one? I think it was too soon. Survivor has a way of doing this where something really works and they try it again so soon. I mean, I know at the time Vanuatu was not well received. Mm-hmm. What is that noise?
Sorry,
what is that noise?
Like multiple people are probably getting arrested at some
point. My God. But I know at the time, like Vanuatu was not well received, especially coming off of Amazon, which did the same style. Then you had, they did the Redemption Island thing, which wasn't even well received, but they used it in South Pacific. And then they did Blood vs. Water very quickly after. They have a way of doing this where if it works, they keep it going. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of, I think, what happened here. It was just too soon.
It was way too soon.
Gamer Girl, whose edit do you wish wasn't over the top, and who do you wish got a bigger edit? I mean, I already said this, and this has nothing to do with being in contact with him, but I wish Troyzan got a bigger edit because he's sitting in the final 3, and you want everybody in the final 3, you want to have a shot to win.
Yeah. I'd go with Troyzan or Aubrey just because, like, they got so far, and how and why, because we don't know.
Yeah. No, that's very true. And then in terms of who had too big of an edit, I don't think anybody had too big of an edit just because everybody towards the end had none of them had huge edits towards the end. Like everybody just kind of had like same stuff. I kind of wish Malcolm didn't get so much and then he went out so early.
Yeah. I mean, people would say Sarah, but she ended up winning. So we don't want to not see her. So yeah, I don't know.
Head of Househouse says she can't watch because of One Love Manchester. Just, that's a devastating incident there. I have a lot of friends who live in London, and Manchester. So both of those areas, hopefully the UK starts doing better. Let's see. Giovanni Oriana, was this season like fan fiction? Yes. It felt like it. It felt like the stories were being made up week to week.
The beginning certainly did.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good comparison.
Giovanni Oriana, who played the worst? Sierra. She went out first. Sierra Easton.
Sierra, Jeff Varner. You could make the argument for either of those, I guess.
Like I say, I don't think Jeff Varner played bad until he had his blow-up moment.
until he
Yeah.
did.
I think him and Sandra were in great position until they got that swap.
Well, yeah, but he wouldn't have. He could have somehow not gotten home.
No, he couldn't have.
Yeah, but that is like the
Yeah.
worst like move. Like you want to talk about it as a move?
Yeah.
That's not a
No,
good-
that's
that's
the
not a good
worst
move.
move. But I don't think he played the worst game because I think before that he was playing well. One bad move doesn't make you play the worst game. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think.
it got him home. Like Sierra went home because she overplayed.
Yeah, but she was only there for 3
She
days,
was-
and all
was
3
she
of those
there?
days she
was,
played bad.
was she there?
Yeah, exactly. All 3 days she played bad.
That's gonna be like on a trivia. Like how many seasons has Sierra played on? And I'm gonna forget that she was on the season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a shame with that. Somebody always goes out first.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gamer Girl, my last comment for what you should do as a future podcast: overrated and underrated and Heroes versus Villains 2 casting. I don't know. Overrated, underrated, it's hard. But Heroes versus Villains 2 could be interesting if you don't use anybody from Heroes versus Villains, because I know that's something that people have talked about possibly happening.
And yeah, I like overrated, underrated, but I think it all depends on your
Perception.
who's listening, because like I read Reddit all the time, and like who they think is overrated and underrated is very different from like what another group thinks or what I think. So I don't know. But also people love telling us that we're not right, so maybe we should do that.
Yeah, exactly. We'll make the underrated tribe out of just Michelle, and everybody will just flip out.
Yeah.
At this point, she should be on the overrated tribe in regards to our podcast.
Exactly.
Let's see. Giovanni Oriana this season had game but no plot, unlike Vanuatu, which I am currently rewatching. Look at Giovanni jumping on the train before I even get there.
Yeah, as soon as we said Vanuatu, he just like started like hopping on his computer.
Instantly. We got Giovanni again. Debbie, like Coach, lied to us, the audience, which baffles me. Was the meltdown an act or was it real? I don't know. Debbie. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't read Debbie.
Well, we do know that it was edited to seem more intense than it was. We do know that. That has been actively confirmed. Past that, we can only ask Debbie that.
Yeah, that's all we can do. Jimmy O'Connor, happy birthday, Ice X. At the reunion show, how about Varner plugging his book while others, Sierra, Caleb, Andrea, etc., barely got a word in?
We didn't talk about that.
We didn't.
But I was not happy. Did not love that.
It was weird, but it's also one of those things, and like, it's always one of these like where it's always the cast who gets blamed. But like, why did CBS okay that? I'm so confused. Like, why did Jeff be like, okay, cool, yeah, plug your book?
Well, that was the thing. And Jeff Probst is one. You completely read my mind. Like, I thought it was tasteless. I really didn't like that. That was the last thing that we saw on the reunion. But Jeff Probst didn't have to listen to him. He didn't have to do that. He could have talked to someone else. But
it was weird. I kind of feel like him, it seemed like the one cut, Jeff had cut off Varner, and then he went up to him like at the commercial break and said something to him, and I guess that was when they had talked about it. But I was really surprised CBS like did that. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a must read for people who have made huge life mistakes. But I don't know. I thought it was weird.
Yeah, I didn't love it. I thought that was kind of in poor taste.
Yeah. Ice X, how about a season of players who made the worst moves?
Sure, that could be fun.
That could be fun. There's a lot of those.
A lot of people like that.
Yeah. That could be a fun season.
Yeah, good one.
Travis Herod, blondes versus brunettes versus redheads. I don't think there's been many.
Do we have enough redheads?
I don't think so. That's a world question.
Who? Yeah, who? Courtney
Who are the redheads that have
Merritt.
played?
Courtney Merritt. That's one.
Yeah. She's like a fake redhead.
She's like a. Who else?
I have no idea. That's something. You know what?
Whoa.
Rafe. Okay, Rafe.
Oh, Rafe. Okay.
Yeah.
We got two.
I need to be on the show because I have red hair and they're clearly not casting enough redheads.
Why? They're casting none. Why can't we come up with anyone?
I don't know.
We
We don't look the part. Lacey, Chris. Oh, yeah, Chris last season. What are we, stupid?
Oh, gosh. We are.
Cochran.
stupid.
Wow, we're really blowing.
Oh,
this.
oh, God. We're the worst.
You know what? I take everything back. Aaron Weiner, who will come back first, Aubrey or Malcolm? I say Aubrey. Malcolm will probably end up playing again, but I think he's going to try to take a little bit of time. Aubrey, like I said, they're always looking for female fan favorites, and that's why Sierra Easton has played so many times. So in such a short, she's played 3 times in 7 seasons. Aubrey could be like that, where she plays 3 times in 7 seasons.
I think she could too. I think she'll definitely play a third time. She'll probably want to take a break too, because this was a really, really tight turnaround for her. And this season just seemed like it wore down on everyone. So I wouldn't be surprised I would not be surprised if we see her again, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of time in between.
Yeah, it's very interesting with a lot of this season and like a lot of the way at least the cast has seemed after the season. It's like with Millennials vs. Gen X, these were first-time players who were super excited. They really wanted another chance. And then this season, it's almost like, okay, we've played Survivor, and this season was not as much fun as our first time. Like, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here, is these people really didn't have as much fun out there. I feel like the pre-merge people had more fun than the post-merge people. Sandra, I feel like, had a great time. I feel like Tony was having fun, even though he went home so early. Like, those are the people who were having fun. I feel like post-merge, a lot of those people were they were having a hard time with it.
I feel like it was because the people who came in without a chance of winning, I think they were just like, well, better go eat a goat, or like better go build a spy bunker. Like, go have fun while you're out there. The people who could have won were just like grinding.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. AT&T. So now I'm over on YouTube. AT&T, overall not a great season, but an enjoyable one. Any chance you think we'll see JT again? I think anytime JT gets asked, he will play. I think he's just a competitive dude who just wants to keep playing. He knows like his whole like legacy is like kind of tarnished, but he's a competitive guy who I think just can't stay away from it.
Yeah, and he said, "I love the game," in his final words. He's like, "I love this game. I hate the way I play it," and that's something that I'm sure CBS just like loves.
Yeah. AT&T. So first Troyzan stuffs an idol into his crotch. Then he takes a picture of Andrea's with an invisible camera. Then he sniffs an egg and he finally kisses a vote. I don't want to know where it goes from there. That's Troyzan's journey.
Yeah, his arc is finished.
His arc is completely done. Gamer Girls, did you hear that Zeke said in one of his ex interviews that he targeted Andrea because they had previously played together in Survivor Brooklyn? That was the problem with this season.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, I figured that was common knowledge that they had known each other.
That's kind of the problem with this season, though. There's a lot of things that were based on stuff that had happened behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Makes it a little tough. Ismail Abdulatif. Sorry, I know I butchered that name. I apologize. The Nuku tribe decided not to kill the mama goat. It's a shame that 3 idols and an advantage managed to do so. Wow, that's a sweet reference. That's cool.
Wow, that was good.
It was good working.
But they ended up killing a goat. Did you read that?
Yeah, no, I heard that.
Yeah, no, they killed one. Fret not. We just didn't see it.
Yeah. Gamer Girl, here's a third thing you could do: 39-day Survivor challenge. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I think she wants us to go like sleep outside and
sleep outside. I don't think I could sleep outside for 39 days.
I feel like there are a lot of homeless people that whatever.
Yeah. Keith Nels Tuck Tuck, how would you compare Cambodia, Ko-Ron, Millennials vs. Gen X, and Game Changers? What were the similarities or differences that made those seasons good?
Similarities, this would just be the Survivor as a whole where it's going is, I mean, all we talk about Cambodia is how it's just strategy. Millennials vs. Gen X had good storylines, but that was all about strategy. This season was all about who to vote out first. You know, that's the similarity between all of these.
Ko-Ron was the more old school
outlier
of the seasons because it was a lot more of like the survival. I mean, you had 3 people get medevaced, your winner, and even Aubrey didn't have to do much pre-merge in order to get where she got. There wasn't as much strategizing. A lot of the strategizing came from that Braun tribe, which they ended up just really not having footing in the game once they hit the merge anyway. So it was a very more old school season. You had your heroes, you had your villains, you had people to root. You had like rooting interests, and then you kind of had I would almost compare like the Michelle win to like a Tina win, where it kind of felt like it came out of nowhere, but on a rewatch, you totally understand where it came from. Mm-hmm. But like it seems at the moment where you're like, how did that just happen? How did Colby lose? How did Aubrey lose? But then like you rewatch it and it makes a little bit more sense. So that season I would say is more old school. Millennials vs. Gen X I feel like had the best balance because I felt like we got to know a lot of your deep players. We got to know Ken pretty much as you could get to know Ken. Hannah, I thought, had some really good quirky moments. I would have liked to seen a little bit more of her. But then you had David, you had Jay, you had Adam, who you really got to know well. You had Michaela, you had Zeke. Like you had a lot of characters on that season, and it had the crazier moves with the Jessica Rocks and all that. So I would say Millennials vs. Gen X is the most well-rounded. Cambodia was like a strategy fest, but it was at least in the players' hands, and then this was more of a let's see what sticks to the wall.
Yeah, this one, like, strategy can only get you so far because you could get voted out without actually getting voted out.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. So I think that's all we got. I mean, that was a way longer podcast than I anticipated. That was actually.
Yeah, for sure.
What did
we thought that
do?
was going to be a half an hour.
Oh my gosh. What did we do? We just kept talking.
I haven't talked to you in a while, so.
I know,
I guess
right? It's been so good. Oh, actually, we had Gamer Girl who said the 39-day Survivor Challenge is like the 30-day movie challenge or 30-day music challenge or whatever. I'll bring up the categories after the podcast is over. Okay? I'm all down to listen to that. Jason Obermeyer, you should do a podcast on top 10 best final tribal council performances, top 10 worst performances, and you should redo the winner rankings, maybe top 30, though, because there's a lot of great non-winners. Oh, non-winner rankings. Non-winner.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't really have much interest in doing a winners ranking.
But non-winner is something we could do. I do like the best final tribal performances because there's been some great ones, and really all we have to do is sit down and watch those 10 minutes of like the 30-something seasons to figure it out. But I can tell you, Chris Daughtry and Todd are very near that top.
Yeah, you just gave it away.
Sorry, but I mean,
and also worst ones too, because you have people who come in like as contenders and they toss it out the window.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Amanda twice. You could put her on that list twice. I might even put Courtney as one of the best because she got more votes than Amanda, and
Courtney
she did nothing.
Courtney had no business getting votes, and she got some.
She got some. Yeah, no, that could be really fun. Sugar, worst. No, this could be fun. I think that's a good idea.
I kind of like this. Is a good idea. Yeah.
We're gonna write that one down. We're gonna figure this out. We have a lot of fun stuff. I think we have so much time, so this could be really good.
Yeah, for sure. I think this will be fun.
All right. Well, let us know what you think about the online reality game too. We're gonna post the email address to our Twitter. So if you want to follow us there, you can then email some, what would you call that, application? Just kind of, tell us. I know we'll say like the top 5 people that you want to play as or like. I know that was like a big thing that Blake had said. Let us know what you thought of Blake. Was he obnoxious? Did you like him? Was the Pussycat Dolls too much? Let us know. And yeah, I mean, other than that, the off season started. Keep an eye out on our Twitter because we'll start tweeting out when we're going to be live, what we're going to be doing. If we have any interviews coming up, I know we're trying. I mean, Millennials vs. Gen X, they couldn't wait to talk this season. I think everybody's like, we've talked enough. And I don't blame them. This was a very strenuous, stressful, pain in the ass type of season. So I totally get it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, in the meantime, like Phil said, tweet at us, leave a comment on this video or tweet at us, however you want to get in contact with us, with which seasons we should rewatch. Give us 2, because we're going to try to hit 2. Give us first and second, or just throw 2 at us. We'll tweet out the 5 that we want. And if you want to pick from there, you can. But if you really want us to watch a different season, then throw it at us and we'll see what we can do.
And we'll probably start that. What do you think? We'll start that next week?
Yeah, let's start that soon. Let's do that. Let's get that up and running.
So you pretty much have this week to vote, and then we'll probably start doing it next weekend, like maybe like next Monday or Tuesday. I mean, now we don't have a time. We can just kind of do it, but we'll probably start doing it next week. So you have pretty much, what do you want to put the deadline as, like Thursday?
Yeah, let's say Thursday.
All right, so you guys got till Thursday to vote for which seasons you want to do as the rewatch in the off season, and then we'll roll from there.
Heck yeah, got some good stuff.
Yeah, so keep an eye out, and yeah, let us know. I don't know if there's any other subjects and stuff. I know the Lost thing. We'll keep you in tune on that. That's something that we both like, but we have to see where it's going. And if there's any other shows or anything like that that you think like maybe could be interesting, we're open to listening. I don't know if we'll necessarily do it, but we are looking to branch out a little bit because these off seasons are long, and then it could be fun to do something in the regular season too. It breaks it up a little bit. So see, we'll see how it goes, but let us know.
Let us know. And yeah, check our Twitter for any updates.
Yeah. So we'll see you probably sometime next weekend, I would think. Probably next weekend.
Probably next weekend.
Adios.